1-2 MathXL Homework Help. Question 1. Which of the following is the usually first step when using a general strategy for solving equations with fractions? So I've created an equation with fractions right here. And one of the things that we can do in order to solve this is to look at the denominator of all of the fractions that are involved in the problem. And this step is going to be clearing out all the fractions in the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the entire left side using distribution, and then the entire right side by the exact same number. And whichever number I choose to multiply the left side and the right side by is going to be the least common multiple of these denominators. So if I think about multiples of a number, I'm always thinking about numbers like this. Like 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. If I try 4, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12. I try 6, 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18. And what I see here in this pattern is that 6 can multiply to become 12, 4 can be multiplied to become 12, and if I took this one step further, 3 times 4 is also 12. So this idea of least common multiple, or what they call the least common denominator, can be my first step. If I multiply the left side by 12 and the right side by 12, what ends up happening is I multiply 12 times 2/3. And I'm doing this in my mind, but I get 8x. 12 times 1/4 is 3. And 5 6 times 12 is 10. If I choose to multiply both sides by the least common denominator, what I get is an equivalent equation that is easier to solve. So the textbook is getting us to think about this: eliminate the fractions within any equation by multiplying the left side and the right side by the least common denominator. Okay, number 2, solve this equation. Well, this equation has a lot of math involved, so we're going to have to think about simplifying the left side. So what I'm going to do is I am going to simplify this until I have combined all of my like terms. And for step 1, I'm going to go ahead and think about anytime I see subtraction, I want to add the opposite, because in my mind, that is easier. So I'm going to think of this minus sign as add the opposite. I'll make that -1 into plus a -1. And I'll think about this minus sign right here as adding the opposite. Next, I'm going to follow order of operations in the correct order. And that means I'm going to start with my parentheses, work on my exponents, multiply and divide. I'm heading in this order because I'm simplifying an expression. So within my parentheses are 3y plus -1, not like terms. Can't do anything with that. 2y, that is multiplied, that's all I can do. There are no exponents, so now I'm on the multiplication part. This is a distributive property, so 5 times 3y is 15y, plus -5 times -1 is -5. And now I am at this part of the problem. This plus sign is right here, and I'm still doing some multiplying. Now I have this -3 times 2y is -6y, and that's all equal to 16. All right, as I look at the left side, I still see that I have some like terms that could be combined. So I'm not done simplifying the left side. I'm going to use a property that we call the commutative property to move my 15y and my -6y together. And that -5, I'm switching the order with the commutative property to put that at the end. And then I'm going to simplify. 15y plus -6y is 9y. My plus -5 is coming down, and my equals 16. Now that I've combined all of my like terms, I can finally build a wall, and I can begin undoing my order of operations. So when we solve an equation, we undo these steps.